Yo, ebusuafo mema obibia adwo ewo baabi a ohwe me sabri ya ote Oheneba media enka na oko Facebook live wa Oheneba 1 TV amanfo atwa me ache maba nso de na maba ensem wala nko na nwumre mere nam timisra mo mo amatwa me ache nyina mamu nyina mo adwo se medwumadi ya medie yi eja muni ho amini ho me soma santeman na me som mu die ibire bia me ba mu nyabre na mu sie me nene eye fire for fire ensama me de ba na mu ohye unim se unya no ba bia ntie eje se Oheneba media so ewo YouTube account na Oheneba 1 TV eye Facebook live ene enkomo no imu ohye area no na me de eto ho se ne ye be ye exclusive interview amanfo bebre hunu ye no edi bu say Oheneba de asam na ade bay busua emu ohye na memfa nto dwa kakra se enansa mo amede ba ne ntire memu ye hye ne se na no dwada ene kwasiara ne dwada so na utumfu Asamponhene ye die ya yenua ya die nyina na nakodwafo do sabi buru yetene ko ebemu na oto ana no mo nse do brain pabonfo bi koje ne kra ifiri ne nsam yenu akiri no yedi ho abobo a fe na abrewai puma kwam ya na nanom akope Oheneba kodwafo do okra bre ama sabi wakoto ana nanom ewo ense do na nasem no enkodai gusu a yidi akiri se ye pasem no na nenu agubre na anwumre de mede ba ma asem ni mu aye hye ne se enkomo no ayemienu na mintimi mfani mienu nyina emboso enne emamo enti meche mienu na ye de fa edikan no abane enyankopon ye adom a kwasiada utwiri ampo de dom ye ne etenkwam na ketrema da abodwiem ne mogya de ehu afusane a ye de ne fa etoso mienu no nso ato amoso enti mu amaba so nyina no me mu nyina mo akwaba na menkae mo se de enti a Oheneba media ene Oheneba 1 TV or Facebook yaso asemi mu ne se sabi eburu sabi mpreduasa enti ye be ye hwehan ema ohenipon bi ya otese na Asamponhene yakuno ana ne se nipa bi agene kra afiri ne nsem abra yentimi nka ho hwe sensi amanugusu America sei medie okwadwo nka mekọ nanso menuanom mepa menkwa na nyina no metena brochire ha na magimani na metwemanum nanso yase papa so ope nwoma so enye nanum di ntra metime de mensasi me bo se manugusu America sei ehu aboga na himfu pi nanu ye de Oheneba to mpemu Oheneba media ye fa live coverage at the bremo na live coverage na de bae no ye ne himfu bibiri bonkomo na uhunu se no kre ehu e na abon himfu pi se ei na na afodo na ekro no o wono asabi eburu sabe mpedu yasa enka wo ben Santehene na ekro no na ye no mo de ye be ye deni enti amenhu abon himfu bi na asante kotoko yesu ukuma apem ba ya mfa hu na chichira santeman na ade ba ko a ehu ne se wo ma ga na mu se oyi wa adwene se obeka no kra obebre papa se oyi wa adwene se no kra de no kra obeka bia obebre na yenum bia ebre bra ye bre ne se no kra ye ka enti eni ahoto na kakra me kan se obeka uman kontompo di hena dachi oji anim guase mi fiti mi dwumadi ase no me pamocho mi fiti dwumadi na se a journalist. I am not a blogger. yenom ensam a yebeba ha yebeka no ye no na bloggers no ana wo mu omo ti internet so omo ye dede no dodo no ano omo fa na omo enso de akokeka se yatiwe enia de ye kochiri ye kope news no na ye de aba na bloggers no abefa na omo de sebe omo de anante keke nti adwuma de journalist for no na ye aye Oheneba media mitimi na ye na enche ye ba be bon komo na enkomo no ehia mienu exclusive interviews ana me de brewo enti oba share video ne maye na invite amanfo bra say ewom say yesie na Asamponhene de na nso adwuma yesini ho eni akatua yenwie ni ehunu nipa ekodi samu ye sem no a asantema ye da enye yie mo amo frɛ me Oheneba waya de twaso de aduru no yo mate me twaso bi e betimi abase madwuma ameye no se me ye hwehwemu kopem se be hu nipa o mu di ewu no me wie ene me next interview a sasa na ebekoso a na me gya adwuma na to ho na yina de ani ahwade na se nananom atrankonwa mo wa ahotɔ wa asanteme mu a mo aka na ye nyina yatibi nti kakra ho no nso meka no nti mo a mo ye jai no so my Ghana so be kan koda on o wa asem ene mabo bi kontu nkunim ene fie ene abre se mo be hye ne nso a eye abosome nwotwenim ne fu to so eye edu nwotwe on the 18th of August na nipa bonfo bi ya eye yesusu se kafuro yesusu se eye Sadat Mohammed ye friend Alhaji one ne yire ye pechi hima na se wa bonsu kwaje na Asampon sebe ne nkwa ifiri ne nsem na ya ye hu bia ya ye de betimi bia ya no akiri no Sadat Mohammed on na Asampo Sadat Mohammed one pechi hima ye nyina ye nim omudwane ene ne ma ye nyina akọ Wagadugu eye a driver eboai na Oheneba me ne ye interview afidie so ya oboaye e ma sebe yetimiche eye nana yetimiche eye pechi hima wone Sadat de ne baaye ye no akiri no aposifo ese Sadat ene ne nana Asamponhene wa asem nti ne hima ne de omfa ne hunkonkodi ya yama no bill sa ne kan yama no bill de bi o report ne ho ohene bi nso yetese won nso yama ne bill eje atrosem ye no nso no kwasem ye no akiri no yabomu o driver no nso bra obre nyina no nyamfa so bi amfrim sa se ekowi exekura no ye no nkura ye ma ne beka sae no ye ho akoye ahi ewo enkorofo bi sebe ensa no ye no akiri no asam no ewo mu ama Sadat ye che no ye de ne call eye Asokore Mampon Magistrate Court na bo che ansa na bra wo hene ba bia obi a me chiawo ema asam no epende wo ho na asam no ewo Asokore Mampon no enye case no a enipa bia kodi na Asamponhene awuo no ena ye di asam no ewo Asokore Mampon nemom case ya epende wo ho de said Sadat say ye man bill ye no ena epende wo asam no kra de enya ni ye no nso eda nchen Oheneba media ye fa asem no so mu say ibedi akira pa asem no na nenu agubre we are media team a ye adwuma say journalists nsentrofo we are not bloggers enye yese ne ye de adwuma ye tumra na ya kiresie ye de asem na chia ba be drum pempenso a eduri na say wa bonsu ne nua no mba be kasai ono ankasa ne nua okofa ne besi akonwa so nana bonsu be kasai se ne nua ba no no a ode ne besi akonwa so no osa dane na kiri epam ne firi na akonwa so ye no ho asem eda ho akire yi pechi hima ekuro ya ne nua odi na chie nso obo paase ye nkuku no abrante no nso be kasa wo Oheneba media so ye no so da ho ye no akire no nso Oheneba media ye ko pachi ni abusuafo ko kasa ye nso wo mu akire sama ame ne de ode wo mato afiase ache enti wo mu hia no ye no akire no nso ebo ho nkomo a eda ho na abusua adwuma ye nyina no yaketua wo soro sanse nye nipa da sene ne betua eka na mom ade a ya wo mu se wo ye adwuma ne nipa bi a osusu se wo mu behye wo nkuran na wo moto wo fopa na wo maka sabi nkuran hyesem a kire no na wo mu bu abamu a aya na eya na ye de ye adwuma na enipa bi a wo asase suru bi a wo na mo afa no kuredi wanim me insoro de nipa ka nyame ne bo nipa ho ban nyame ne hwe nipa so enti adwuma no ameye no me ye as a professional journalist ya me ye investigation. I'm not a blogger enti yesa me beso asemu me je but say wiase nyina mo say chiro no kura kasa mo adolfo eno so che watamfo na ewom say nipa nyina ado wa aduedie nanso dodo no aka say menya adwuma ne nto ho a me de beto ho. We have a lot of issues. Your major issue kura me investigation team no omo aye investigation na school bia headmaster no afi bia wo kuma kura ba ko ye no ho asem ya investigation aka wo say issue no ya de ba ne nenso enam say anasampon oda santama akoma so na sikadwa na ye bo ye ho ba na ye nyina ye say sikadwa sinti na asem no me nai ya ye hwe say ye betimi atu ho anamo na enipa bia sabi omudi hu ato nananom mese nananom bebre hu na ahyemoma enemu ni ahoto enti momo mpaye maye mo common mo nkotodwa ni mo ne mo sabi mo nkonya so momo mpaye maye na mo kansempa emfa dwumade na ayedie ne ho yenyi ta wota na nasampon tene nto nchen yenyi ya wo mpa na asem to nchen asem ya atunu ebetimi atu obia obi so okoye sei ya fa bibia nto nchen so koye bibi kura enyempo ana wode ne sika bi koma obi no kwakwaje a se obi adi ekum wo no de wo hye wo wa wo kam so okohye wa se de wo ye no enye wo se eye wo eye nyambra sem na saa nipa no wadi ti mo me yanzo saa ansem ne so sabi ewi ase de eda ho saa no de ato na Asamponhene no ebetini atu obia enti se mi bom kuntun krimo na me ne me journalist me central for no ye address kosi ye be pass ni mu na ne egubra me mu ya bam mu nhie nkuran na mo mpae maye kakra me kan abusuafo ene ensem yenu ene wo ho me ba na me de ne nyina abeto dwa na nkomo no ebe ye de pa mo ntwa me. Yo, area yasa bebiem. Amon share video ni maye na misramo ye YouTube account no eye adwuma. Ye YouTube account no eye adwuma. Me traba sisi amo hwe me Facebook live no. Mon ko ho Oheneba media. Enen komo yi ene be fa Oheneba media so abremo. We kire Nyankopon Sunday Nyankopon ya adom a. The next conversation no it will be on YouTube live. Yeah, my Facebook live be. Nemo ye program na ne de ba nti on subscribe YouTube account na. Ko YouTube shoto ho anako ho obo Oheneba media. Okwa no amia subscribe no so. Umia subscribe no a adoma bi ho no amia adoma no so. Ebre bi a meba live bi a be information be bia no. You will be the first person I be notify wo. Na wetimi ehunu nkomo a Oheneba media na oba do. Na abusuafo nkomo ne ye mie no. Mo amodika abaso nyina no mamo akwa aba obeti wa Avin Powerhouse me chiao ene nanano matena nkonwa nyina dodo abaso nyina mutie dwumade nyina me se ne nipa gusu amutie me chia mo nyina na enkomo no amede ba emu ohye emu so den this ha na abenya na free enti mo nhye video ne maye na mo trending news no ne nu wiase afa na nyina krobi asante kotoko ni otumfo se tutu na ona ba bia obi ya no eja me chia na me kwa du na asante ma ba fo katankranchi so me chia nra Oheneba media ye PM titrim ebra na se kwa me titrim hene eye ba fo katankranchi o papa na wusu kokko abibiu na wusu kokko o free mu na titrim hene eye na se kwa me obedi na de onso afrim tinra o na usi ni mpon ye di na otweda ye ba all life e be bobo nkomo kakra nti na na ba bia obi anso ye ma ya akọ na so kra ma Asamponhene ohene ba ko a o respect no ka no kra na na me chia o twa apurisi e na na bo chia ayama bebi o na nkwata kase ne so cha afi doctor edusai atwere wa mpim tapaman hene nso me chia na na mi wi a me frɛ ti abusuafo mun share video ni ma ye ne mo nkomo na enkomo no eyetu ne ma mienu eye Sadat Mohammed eye friend Alhaji ya otwere apolitifo akukum se on ne kodi na Asamponhene ewu koje ne kra mfiri ne nsem no ne lawyers esi wo mo ne me be kasa e de ye be bon komo ye no ye another issue emu odrio case no ena form just Oheneba na abete de toso mienu nso na pachi hema na sai wa bonsu nso ono nso edna no disemo abreme enti mintimi nyani nyina ne esanse Oheneba media ensem na egumanim no edoso nene no metie de Sadat de ba na nyankopon ya adom akwasiada pachi hema nso de ode ba no de aba e ba to anya sa ne tie samo preso amonya ne sama mintimi nyani nyina ambom sanse dwumadie no ayedie no ye nipa turebi ane abre ne adenti enne me ne Sadat ne mere nimfo ana Sadat na kache ebebo nkomo yesie na Asampon awie die enso asembe na ekoso ye wie pa eye kwasiada ebe no eye nana pachi hema ono nso na asem ode abre me a osemenka no ye no nso ye de ba live ewo Oheneba media so nti kwasiada de ande yentimi nya ne Facebook live ye beko YouTube straight eye Oheneba media ewo YouTube nti troto okwa ko subscribe account na me Oheneba media okwa wumia subscribe no a no amia adoma no so no abeye member me ba live wa no na wo hunu nsamo amede brɛ amanfo se na wo se neka mama menya ne say because Sadat is a prime suspect on the di mu akotene pa anti say ono no won sam kan I think say mefa ye no mom ne na pachi hima adi Sadat kasa say de pachi hima kasa adi omye no nyina no the same adekrement nti momfa ne sa ama me na monta na chi na mintimi ne dwumadie no nti enche Sadat lawyers no ensem om so mba be kan Oheneba media omun kasa ade o the first time one they are going to speak na nie na omu ko kasa so a Oheneba media so na omu eba be kasa nti mo dia mon share video ni maye na mon fra man from ra no mra metie bi na ene ensem no case na hu o jaba kwa bana o se ensem ha mon twa mi na me na me homra na afi ye metoa enkombo ne so me da me ho abasisi a mon twa mi meba ansa na meba no abusuafo mo nhye video ne maye na miguso okay meba mcho media adwuma ne ya manfo say per the headline no na wo se me ye pachi hima ade no kane me ne mo ya adwene wona fa bi nanso empani account wo se nyaa wo mawu nkodi akorasem Sadati na akofa asem nyina aba enti se ne lawyers pese wo mo kasa kane a I have to give respect to them na me no mo kasa kane enti mesremo wa no mon kama komanto na Oheneba media no mon follow me because the production team no the almost so no they are also working and yes say ye buy and ye be kasa keke that was the arrangement but the everybody no I think say better say yane Sadat lawyer no be kasa na yenya bra bia we will drop pachi hima issue no yenya bra we will handle that matter on Sunday YouTube account na oko subscribe my ho ne be bon komo me da me ho aba na afi ya to ankomo no so me ba abusuafo ye kwa homa no so na ye ne Sadat Mohammed ne mere ndimni on kasada for the first time lawyer in the Bugri also opese one Oheneba media bon komofa ensem a any accusations ye dey to Sadat so na afi ye man lawyer no akonya na for the benefit of your listeners no okambrofo we will try our best ne na kasa ye wi a ye be try say ye be summarize the whole issue na afi ya chichiri mo ache yetifo na ya bon komoti obi anyi na sum no ntie nkomo aye ne lawyer John Ndebugiri abebo no kakra. Okay. Lawyer John Ndebugiri, good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, thank you for joining us.
Yes, a pleasure.
All right. We are speaking to lawyer Ndebugiri. He's a private legal practitioner and also a former member of parliament. Lawyer, first of all, can you confirm to us whether you are the lawyer for Sadat Mohammed, the alleged killer of Nana Asamponhene or not?
I am.
All right. Then thank you very much. Can you tell us exactly the case that your client, Sadat Mohammed, brought before you?
Well, since the incident took place, my client took flight to Burkina Faso out of here, and then he was arrested there and repatriated. And then he has been in detention since then, first in police detention.
Okay.
Under very strict guard. So his relatives had to travel all the way to the north to come and then instruct me to come and take the brief. And I went and please facilitated their ability to meet him and then to talk with him. And I also met him and talked with him in the presence of the police. So that's how I came into the case.
Oh, okay. Lawyer, we are going to ask one or two questions because since the case is still ongoing, we don't want to put much questions on you. Can you tell us exactly the issue at stake, or what actually your client told you about what really happened between him and the late Nana Asamponhene?
Oh, but there's what we call lawyer-client communication privilege. There's a privilege or a communication between a lawyer and his client, like between a doctor and his patient, is privilege.
Okay.
Meaning that you are not supposed to be disclosing these matters to third parties.
Okay.
So I'm unable to tell you what has been happening between my client and myself until the trial starts. When the trial starts, everything will be in public, and then every bit of information will be available to the public.
Okay, now we understand there is a case pending on at Asamponhene District Court. What is actually the issue at that particular court? Because we don't know whether it is the rare case or is there any thing else you want to tell us?
Well, that is not peculiar to this case alone. My client has been charged with murder.
Okay.
And when a person is charged with murder, he has to be tried on indictment.
Okay.
And if the murder is tried on indictment by the High Court,
okay,
with a jury of 7. Now, before the accused person appears before the High Court judge and jury, he has to undergo what we call committal proceedings. And that is done at the district court. In other words, the accused person will be taken before a district magistrate. and the magistrate will put certain questions to both prosecution and the accused person. And at the end of the day, determine whether there is some evidence connecting the accused person to the crime that has been charged. And where the magistrate finds that there is some evidence connecting the accused person to the crime, then the magistrate will commit the accused person to the High Court to be tried by a jury. And where the magistrate finds that there is no evidence at all connecting the accused person to the crime, the magistrate shall discharge the accused person. So that is what is about to happen at Asamponhene.
Okay.
But before that happens, the police will have to complete their investigations.
Okay.
And then send a duplicate copy of the docket
Okay.
to the Attorney General's Department in Kumasi. And then they will now take up the matter and carry out the committal proceeding. And now there's a new practice direction. Before that can happen, the Attorney General has to furnish the accused person or his lawyer or lawyers all statements, all articles, all evidence and so on that are going to be used in the trial. So they are just holding him. The Asamponhene from State Court is just holding him in prison custody.
Okay.
While the Attorney General is going to take the duplicate docket and do the disclosures before we will start the committal proceeding.
Okay, all right. Lawyer, I know you've been talking to your client, per my understanding. I don't know whether Sadat has been admitted that maybe probably he may have enhanced of killing the late Asamponhene or not. I don't know whether you can tell us a little bit about what he has been telling you.
But I've told you that whatever my communication has been taking place between my client and myself, I cannot disclose now. I cannot tell third parties about it because I will be breaching the confidentiality rule. I will be abusing the privilege or undermining the privilege between him and me, the privilege communication between him and me. That's why I'm saying that when the trial starts, everything will be in the open. So there's no need to be in a hurry.
All right. And what actually is a whole what do you call it? A whole trial beginnings.
Oh, your line is breaking. I cannot get the.
I said, can you tell us exactly when the whole trial will begin?
This is what I'm saying. We are not controlling the process.
Okay.
Yeah, we are hoping that in the next few days or weeks, the police will conclude their investigations and forward the whole case to the Attorney General's Department. Then they will take over and then we will start the committal proceedings.
Okay, lawyer, we are also getting report that. Hello, lawyer. We are also getting report that the family members of the late Asamponhene were threatening you, so you were planning of quitting this particular issue. Is that the case?
No. What happened is that I had a number of telephone calls from various friends warning me that, they had picked information that, people related to the deceased person were not taken kindly to lawyers representing the accused person. Okay. So when I attended court at Asamponhene from the last time, I saw that yes, certain persons had come there in mourning clothes and they were quite they were quite a threat. But I explained, I told the magistrate to explain to the crowd that, and I spoke to the media as well after the court sitting, that the man is charged with murder. When a person is charged with murder, that person is not allowed to plead guilty. You cannot, when the charge is read, you can't say you are guilty. The judge is enjoined to enter a plea of not guilty for you. And where you don't have resources of your own, financial resources of your own to hire a lawyer, the state will hire a lawyer for you. So if I was sitting in court and the judge appointed me to be his lawyer, I will not be running away because people are threatening. I will have to take up the matter because, I mean, the punishment or the penalty for murder is death.
Okay.
And we have situations where, especially out there in Europe and the United States, where people were convicted of murder and hanged, and several years later, several tens of years later, it was found that they were not guilty, and that their conviction was in error, possibly because they did not have the best of legal representation. And so the law wants to err on the side of caution. That's why they make all those provisions, not allowing the accused person to plead guilty, and hiring the state hiring a lawyer for the accused person, where the accused person is unable to hire a lawyer by himself or herself. And so it is in the interest of even the family members and relatives of the deceased that the real killer of the deceased should be the one to be punished. And that means we must go through the trial in a very transparent and methodical manner, so that when one person is convicted or a number of persons are convicted, that means they are actually the person. And the law will not regret for having convicted somebody in error. So I tried to explain this. And I also added that when we are taking the oath to be enrolled as lawyers, we swear that we will defend our clients without fear or favor or ill will. And so if I take a plea,
okay,
and then relatives of somebody betting that if I don't, give up the brief, they are going to harm me, and I give up the brief, then I breach that oath.
Okay.
It means I am not defending my client without fear.
Okay.
And I ought to do that. So I explained that it is not the case that I am about to pull out of the case. No, I am determined to deal with the case, and I'm only taking every measure to explain to those who are concerned that they should allow the due process to proceed, so that in the manner analysis, when someone is convicted or people are convicted, the correct ones would have been convicted.
Okay. Lawyer, a lot of people are asking this particular question that immediately the incident happened, your client flew to another country, meaning or trying to let people understand that indeed he had hand in this particular issue. How do you respond to that particular comment that people are making?
When the incident happened, all sorts of stories flew around.
Okay.
So, that's why I'm saying that we need to be patient, and when the trial starts, all the facts will be in the open. All sorts of stories were told.
Okay.
And if you put them together, they are so contradictory that that is why it is important that we should be avail legal services so that his case can be dealt with properly.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Now, we also understand that your client is not feeling well. Can you tell us about the health condition of your client, if possible?
Well, yes. I think I was with 3 times before the finalists, the court finalists sent him into the prison. But since he went into prison, I have not met him.
Okay.
When I was with him, the 3 times I've spoken about, he was quite, he was not too well.
Okay.
But that is, we have just been brought from Burkina Faso. That was about a few days after he had been repatriated. So he didn't look too well. He had problems with his ears and he had headaches and so on. But they were giving him medical attention. And I have been monitoring, and I have information that even though he still complains of intermittent headaches, I think his condition is not so bad.
All right. We are speaking to lawyer in the Bugri, a lawyer for an alleged murder or an alleged killer of Nana Asamponhene. Sorry for that. Lawyer, finally before you go, do you have confidence of winning this particular case?
We normally don't predict whether we win the case or not.
Okay.
So, you know, we as lawyers act by instructions.
Okay.
So, according to my instructions, I will do my best. According to the instructions I've got from my client, I will do my best. But there are situations where you can you can receive instructions from the client.
Okay.
And later on you find that the instructions are not exactly what happened. So it is not wise for a lawyer to predict whether he's going to win the case or not.
Okay, but I know there are some cases when they bring a case before you can able to determine, or you can have a confidence that this particular case indeed my client is in clean hands or not. That's what I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean, if a client comes to me and says that, well, I stole somebody's cow, and then I have been arrested by the police, and I want you to come and defend me. I ask him, how am I going to defend you? I mean, is it that you want me to plead for mitigation or what? Because if you have, in that case, he will be able to plead guilty when the charge is read to him, unlike in murder. So where the client has told you that he has committed the crime, that is where you can advise him that, look, you better go and plead guilty and then suffer the consequences, because you knew that what you were about to do would have consequences, and you still went ahead and did that. But it is so radically different from the case of murder, because
Okay.
I've explained to you why a person is not allowed to admit that he has committed the murder. The thing has to go through the trial. Unlike in stealing, where you can go and tell the court that, oh, I actually committed the offense, and maybe plead that, oh, sometimes they say it is about some who caused it and that sort of thing. So, in those clear cases, I mean, a lawyer with some conscience will advise the client that he should throw in the towel. But in murder cases, you cannot do that. That is why we have to go through a trial. And you cannot go through a murder trial without a lawyer. And that is why whether the lawyer thinks you win the case or not, he must still go ahead and deal with the case.
Okay, Lawyer Ndebugri, we will end the conversation now. But before you go, finally, sorry. What do you want to tell us, finally, especially my listeners, before you go?
About the case?
Yeah, about the case.
Yeah, but if there are late Nana Asamponhene's relatives or supporters or family members out there, they must try and understand that, understand our role on the basis of the explanation I've given.
Okay.
And that it is in everybody's interest for due process to take place so that the real person who committed the heinous crime will be punished.
Okay.
And I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to explain the situation out there.
All right. Thank you very much also for responding to our call.
You are most welcome.
All right. Abusuafo lawyer John Indebugiri, or a private legal practitioner, or a former member of parliament, unfortunately, on T3. On a nearborn common, on a yes, Sadat Mohammed, lawyer. Now, and then I got a message say, lawyer, say you want to clear certain things. Kakra, 1 or 2 issues be concerning Yama, Ekosone, Busuafo bi, Tata no, and Asamponhene Busuem, Simbi, Omusimu, near Chini, Adentina, or person near Kasakra. So, Yama an opportunity say, at least, I was say it's me, Kakra, na itie and come on here, airborne. Yam some come on, Ewa, Mebusan in Simbi, Bri say, be member for Makrana for the benefit of Omutie, no. Busan say, dear Asem no betimi aka fe ho kakrafa Asem we pendi occasion. No so Asem no kra de enya ni na Asem was korema ne say na they were seeking no mo per bill ana ama the client no na ye no na eda so aye pending ti Asem no kra de nya nko so ne ade o chechire mbebre ewa mintimi nkani na afa bi Busan say obetimi aka kire say ne client no waje atum say bi kura no a ono ne kun na Asamponhene na anyo no o se ne de a court in a betchere, it drew one number one Simon Becca because the end between a confidential between or non and a client, non Tinya somewhere was say, ultimately top public for now. And so we be crack with dear woo. That's when the lawyer was a bino and a state no money lawyer and he said, Sadat crown who say a big issue be a. Ye no akire ne yebusa ne say yate family members na omo Asamponhene won so omo frefre tata no sa na ono ka kire ye nti ye busa na say but o ka kire say indeed e no kre o receive a lot of messages and calls say ono na edi asem na chine ade but o pese omo ti ase say ye na adwuma no ye ono de osom Sadat the Sadat be instruct ne say won ye no ano ye so ebusa ne say nti ohwe case na wodi no a obetimi agimkunim de ama Sadat no kire say ya ni mom de nkunim de ne de duru ho a na agro ne form duru ho an ne behunu se obetimi adi nkunim ama Sadat na se ontimi ni nkunim afi kirembusa ne se aseme no ka no so o de o ka kire na Asampon akitafo pa ne se sebe agro ne form ntimo ntomobo ase na mbra no no mu nyina e follow sebe nyese bia omu bekataka ne ma so abu nipa bia nimtie nti mbra no ano mu follow ti enkomo ne de ewa yedi nkomo bebre ye ne Sadat lawyer ana abon komo nti afa so be say busa no one major question say yate Sadat ne ho mfa no ye no say wo se ye no kre ye che no no a na odem ne de na ne ho mfa no but after the kwa sokore mampon no we hia no kakra am say na pum de no na afa die ya ne sa nti sese ya bon komo ne bebre ewa na abusuafo enen komo e just 45 minutes pe na me din komo we yesi sanse me yankasa na bre Wechina menkasa Nyankopon ya adma Friday Saturday Sunday kafra Sunday ebre say ya na pechi him so say Sadat independent enti ne lawyer abekasa ono so ne de o woka no we wa mintimi mfa nkomo ni nyina amre mo ono so won sem ka enti mesremo a mintimi mfa ni nyina amre mtimi de we bebre mo ne Nyankopon ya adom a Sunday me de pechi him so de ne bebre mo but de kakra metimi aka afa ho ne say Nyankopon ya adom on Sunday de no me mfa Facebook live me de befa YouTube account YouTube no ye Oheneba media let me write it na obia ochro no onchro ento say nyame ya adom Sunday de no ye Oheneba media ewo on YouTube account nti me trato ewo mebo YouTube machro Oheneba media on YouTube account okwa anu emia adoma no so madoma no ye subscribe umia subscribe no anu emia adoma bibela bedanche umia adoma so anu be member me ba live on Sunday ana be hunu lawyer de bugiri ni mfonyu ne da ho no na me ne kasa na ewie nkomo no ewie aka me bere afa ne client ne ho nti wo so mo nti so godogu bi no abe abusia ye de betimi bia wo Okay, I'm out for to be man. Okay, let me read some of the comments here. Abba so far. Now me say, lawyer de bugri so obo mo ne mbeka say kakra abeka kakra for mo client no nsem mo mbeka na settle man sumu a mo de mo information mra me fan to dwa na enche me sorry so or say Ava Juliet or say the information this lawyer is giving here it's not the information that we wanted to hear. Oheneba, please. Okay, Mate. For Sinao Sebons, was tell him he must be out of this case. Hey, Rose Fosu. Or say you, the lawyer, you are old enough to tell lies. It is up to you and your God. Okay, you're only many about so can. For Rose Fosu will say he will die like chicken. Ube with the saco. Hey, Ava or say head the keke. Was in it crown like okay. First thing I was able to stop talking to this man. I'm afraid I like power. Okay, come on, it does a lot of messages. Ajua Oheneba Kubina or say vengeance. Okay, vengeance is for the God. Okay, Martin, so that's it. Okay, Thomas Kennedy. Also, well done, Oheneba. Thank you. Abena Bohema. Oheneba, tell Sadat lawyer he can't win this case. Okay, please. Okay, me catch no. I was here for a minute, chepi. On my catch, and then younger some my bread. Yango pon ya adomo akwesiada. He will come with Pechi Himansu latest. Now, and then some information on the gather and say Pechi abusuafo nyina no. Omo akọ na nabu abasa ahimfie se ohema ne de opo wonpew omo no no omubu man omo mpe ne biem to ma wakantan kese agu ne so we are waiting de na nabu abasa ebeka afa entam ne ho de akoto sante hinanim enam se ono ena wo so omo de asem ne fa ne so koduru ye wura anim. Okay, don't entertain that pechihima. Hey, me de nyame na me entertain no. We are digging into the matter. Makramo, Yankopon ya adomo a. Yebesa aba kwesiada on YouTube Oheneba Media. Subscribe na yeba watimi atienka. Meda mu nyina mo ase, mo mutimi ehwe me na motie me. Nyame onhyira obiara.